but Abby's the star. She's gonna walk us through how to use Illustrator.
Oh, okay. All right. So most of you have never seen this program.
I've seen it, but I can't figure it out.
All right. That's why you're here.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So this is the goal of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's nice. So yeah, you're using like simple shapes to make something that looks complex that you don't want to necessarily just like hand draw. Okay, cool. Love it. Love it, love it. Thank you.
There will be some mouse drawing because I have a pen, but I'm not going to use it because I know a lot of people don't have a pen. Okay, so, all right, when you open the program initially, it's going to look similar to this. Can everybody see all that's on there? I tried to make it big enough. Okay, awesome.
Pretty much.
There you go. Okay, so opening up a file, usually you won't really have to worry about like what kind of media it is. I usually do for print. Usually it's either for print or for web. You usually don't have to do anything extravagant. Let me make this a little smaller because I want to see all these options.
Oops.
No, it took it away. Okay, all right. So you can change the
Preset details.
You can set the name if you want before you open the program, but once you save it, you can also change the name. So it's not the most important thing in the world. Depending on what you're working on, most likely you're going to work in inches. So that's where you find what kind of dimensions you're going to be using. So be aware of that. Just make sure that you are using the right kind of dimensions when you're opening it up. We have the orientation, where it basically just switches the height and the width. Right here is called the bleed. And what this does is it kind of puts a ruler a little bit past what the page is going to be, or the artboard. So you can have it, and this is usually for print. If you're going to have the design go past it so it can be cut perfectly, so that you have a perfect edge. Let's see. Oh, CMYK, that is usually used for print. RGB is going to be for computer based. So that's the only two differences there. And I don't think I need to show you guys anything.
Abby, if you set up a bleed on there, does it show you marks? Or...
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it shows you directly on the page.
Cool. So you know where to cut it so you get like that effect.
Yeah, because usually with printers, it will kind of, it'll cut weird. So that'll take care of that. Oh, the little bar. Okay. Come on. That's fine. Okay, and usually 300 DPI is basically just how clear it's going to be, and that's standard. But if you're working with anything crazy, they will tell you. Okay, let me just do that again. Great, new. And I'm just going to hit enter because really that's all you need. This is not the most powerful computer. Okay. So that doesn't have any bleed, but usually it'll have a red mark all the way around. Okay, so this is what's called an artboard. There is a tool that you can use to make the artboard bigger or smaller, and you can also add a second page or artboard if that's what you need. And properties, come on. Oh, okay. This is in a different, oh, this is called, when it opens up, everything on the sides and on the top, it's called an workspace. So to change it, you can go to Window, Workspace, and then they have all these kinds of presets. Or there is this little switch workspace where you can do the same thing. Okay. There's all my colors. Okay, so if I use the Artboard tool, I can change the dimensions of the Artboard however I want. So that's just to make sure that you have the right size of the paper. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, so let me kind of explain what Illustrator is. Illustrator is a vector, it's called a vector type program because the shapes it's basically used for, oh, admin, okay. This is a shape, and if you expand or contrast it, it will stay clear however you size it, because it uses an equation to make the shape bigger or smaller. They usually use it for printing so that you can put it on whatever you need. And so basically you are manipulating shapes. You can make squares. This is usually the standard shape tool. You can make a square, and if you right click on any of the tools, it will come up and make a little list. If it has a little tick mark on the bottom right corner. So you can also directly type in how big you want it. And this little key or chain right here either makes it so it is a standard size, no matter how big or small it is, or you can directly tell it how big or small you want the shape. And you can pretty much do that on anything you input into Adobe Illustrator. You can directly tell it, hey, I want it 12 by 24, and then it'll automatically make it. So this color is going to be the fill, and this is going to be what's called a stroke. And you can, in the properties is where you're going to be doing a lot of the adjustments. So the stroke, you can tell it big stroke, small stroke, or if you directly click on it, the little white with the red mark on it, it would make it none. Also, if you double click on it on any of the colors, it will get you into the color mode area where you can pick any color you want. And then if you want to save that color, what you would do is you would, let's see, let me just put this away for a second. Okay. So this little icon right here, that is the swatches. And they already have some preset swatches, but if you want to add one, you would click into the icon with the 3 lines. You would add new swatch, and you can name the swatch whatever you want. Purple. And then you can either have it a process color or a spot color, which a spot color you can manipulate to where you can have a certain percentage of the color. So it can be lighter or it can be darker. And that is used for a lot of it's basically good to keep track. So you can use one color, but you can use a variant of it as well. So, and you can see if it's a spot color, if it has that tiny little dot on the corner. And I can get rid of that. Okay, some more shapes you can do. Right click, and then you could do ellipse. Oh, with any shape or any kind of sizing, if you hold shift and then drag, it keeps it perfect. And that's with text, that's with shape, that is with any kind of stuff you want to do in Illustrator. Let's see, you have a polygon tool. And what's cool about this is you have the star tool. And if you hit the down button, it takes away the amount of corners, and you can make a triangle. You can make a crazy shape. Oh, and if you don't know the quick keys, Control, or I don't remember what was on Mac. Control X is delete. Control Z is undo, which I use a lot. And then Control C is copy. Control V is paste. And you use it a lot in Illustrator. Okay, so I'm going to make I'm going to take that down and make that a triangle. And I'm going to make that green. And I can, oh, this is the selection tool. This grabs the whole shape or a group of shapes, which I will show you later. The direct selection tool is, oh, and if to zoom in, you can do Control plus, and Control minus is to zoom out. Just so you know that. That is used a lot as well. But the direct selection tool, which the quick key is A, you can directly take what is called an anchor, and an anchor you can pull, and it's the little square. So these anchors are not being pulled. They have already been placed. So you can alter it however you want. And to take away an anchor, you can hit the minus key and take those out if you want. And that is also up here in the pen tool. Oh, wait. Could have sworn it was in the pen tool. Okay. Well, they changed that. That's Adobe for you. All right. So the hotkey is minus or plus. Plus to add. And then if you go in further, let me zoom in. See if I can find. Oh, if you pull on this little circle, you can make a rounded edge. And here I'm going to show you, these are called handles. Handles, you can manipulate the curve of the anchor. So you can make it however you want. And one thing about anchors and handles is the more anchors you have, the less smooth the shape is going to be. So if you want that, that's fine. But if you want a smoother edge, then you want less anchors so that you can use, here, let me give you an example.